Hey guys, can everybody hear me okay? If you guys can hear me, put a 1 in the chat, please. If I need to turn my volume up some, I can. I was just trying to avoid, I know the last live was so loud because I had my volume all the way up and it picks up so much background noise. Okay, so we'll give it a minute just to see if anybody else is going to come scraggling in. Welcome everybody. Thank you for coming in. I have a couple things I want to address before I bring my guest in. And I'm trying to eliminate like the time between me starting the live and actually getting to the point. So I'm just going to cut straight to the to what I want to say before I bring in the guest. Sorry, my dogs are right up underneath me. There's a few people who, of course, are trying to stir trouble since our last live with Lesley. And honestly, I just wanted to say there is no way I would ever show up on a public platform with someone who was relentlessly abused and us lie about her abuser being given an injunction. To even suggest that shows the warped mentality of some people on this platform. And I wanted to remind everyone that the case was a civil matter, which was held in family court at a justice center. And that's a place where things such as domestic abuse cases are heard, as well as divorce cases and many, many other types of issues. Trying to adjust the volume a little. No matter what we do, there's always going to be a handful of enablers that demand that you meet their needs. I already showed the clips where the wording came directly from those court documents. It's not our place to demand any victim show their private court papers. This is a legal case. We aren't going to do anything that could potentially put the victim in a position for her to be viewed as anything other than sharing her personal story. I saw and read the document she was given. I know where it took place. It makes me feel like some of you have lost your ability to rationalize. But for those of you who still possess the ability, they think about it like I do. The victim was dragged on countless live streams for endless hours in videos and in comments. She was labeled a pedophile, accused of sexualizing images, someone's children. She was threatened, stalked online, had a photo of her home posted on YouTube. Her daughter accused of scamming, accused of being in prison. Her beautiful grandson, disabled, being called horrible names like retard, told to go, to go kill herself. The list goes on from there. Who in their right mind would expect me to encourage a victim to share any protection and peace of mind that the court has given to her? Why? So that court can be bombarded with hundreds of calls from a bunch of her abusers and enablers of the abuse by the person that received the injunction? So what? They can get their hands on Lesley's private information and then possibly do the same thing, or even worse to her? For what? To prove that what we said was 100% factual? No, absolutely not. And for anyone to even consider us releasing it, you need to put yourself in her shoes and see how you would feel about that. That is not even rational thinking, people. This isn't some famous case. It's the story from a victim who is trying to help give hope to others, enduring the same type of madness. I'm just a person who witnessed everything that she went through. And I've also been through a huge ordeal myself, along with several others in my circle of friends. This isn't about my story, or even theirs at the moment. Lesley did not do what her abuser would have done. That would have been to parade around all over YouTube, hitting her over the head with the injunction and smearing it in her face? No. Instead, she was gracious enough to come on here and share her story with all of you to inform others that they don't have to endure that kind of abuse. She even offered to assist anyone who reaches out privately with assistance to resources. It's proof enough for you all when you no longer hear her attacking Lesley. She cannot mention her by name, refer to her any longer as the disgusting nickname Dirty, can't discuss any of the accusations she's made specifically about her or to her. That injunction was awarded on November 23rd of 2021. It stands until 4 p.m. on November 23rd, 2022. But Lesley can and will seek an extension if necessary if she starts back up again after that date. BAM's enablers do not have to like it, but it is what it is, and the legal entities involved saw enough that they felt the victim was just that, the victim. Otherwise, Lesley herself would have been served with it, or even BAM would have been able to provide, BAM would have been able to provide an ounce of proof. Sorry, my dog is distracted me trying to jump. Had BAM provided that, and then tried to go on to explain why she was reacting the way she was or doing the things that she did in the manner in which she did them. But then they could have both been potentially served, but that didn't happen. This is a real life victim. It's a legal case. It's not some game. If sitting in jail is how someone wants to spend their time because they violated an injunction, then so be it. I don't think that's going to happen because the defendant is smart enough to not violate the injunction that's in place. She did not oppose it whatsoever, and the court had her on camera with a full verbal understanding of everything she was agreeing to. She didn't have to pay for a solicitor to be present because that's part of what the judge is there for. When someone doesn't have legal representation with them in court, one of the primary duties of the judge is to make sure that person fully understands exactly what it is they are agreeing to before they sign or do anything. Sorry, now my cat's up here. You can just call me Ginger Doolittle. But I was going to say that, get down, get down. Some have sat there saying that, well, she was smart by not spending any money and just accepting it. She was given the opportunity to disagree. Do you honestly believe someone like her who screams she's not threatened by anyone, including law enforcement or the legal system, would honestly agree to something that she was innocent of, and she would say that she is anything other? No, she wouldn't. Lesley had 2 or more years of the evidence, and whoever said it only took a short amount of time didn't watch our interview. I'm going to get to that, donkey. in just a second. Some of you are clearly confused. There is a difference between a restraining order and an injunction in the United Kingdom. The main difference is that a restraining order is issued at the end of a criminal case. But you can ask the court for an injunction even if someone has not been charged with a criminal offense. It can be approved by the judge. An injunction can, if there is enough evidence to prove that the abuse, harassment, stalking, etc. has occurred, and the victim is at risk for further harassment, abuse, stalking, etc. Remember, this was not a criminal proceeding. It's a civil case. Everybody knows that. I mean, everybody that went after other creators have all said the same thing. The police will tell you it's not criminal, it's a civil case. In Lesley's case, there was a massive amount of time and effort put into this. The court's not just going to look at your phone at a screenshot and go, oh, okay, wish granted. No. Each piece of evidence submitted had to have dates, times, titles, URLs, specific timestamps, and a detailed statement attached to each piece of evidence, each individual piece. You can imagine how time-consuming that was, and that it didn't include everything that the abuser had done, because that would take literal years to sort through. Not only did Lesley have a solicitor, also known as an attorney, in the UK, she was also given something that was called a barrister. And in general, they engage in advocacy or trial work. And also as solicitors in office work. But only the barristers may appear as an advocate before the high court. Over in the United States, they're all attorneys. The judge was aware of the mountain of evidence that existed, and that Lesley's legal team had every bit of it. Excuse me. She received confirmation that the defendant had been served, notifying her of the court date towards the end of October 2021. I can't remember the exact date off the top of my head. It was somewhere around the 20th or the 22nd, something like that. Some of you guys were talking about the timeline with some of the other stuff going on. Bam claims she knew what she did about Claire months ago, but only recently came forward about it. You realize who we're talking about here. Someone that would not sit for months on something like that. But she sat what she said for months, or what she knew about Claire, and said nothing. Because she claimed she didn't want to cause drama. She was also served with a C&D, according to her, by AD. You do the math. Go lay down. Go. She made a public statement during one live saying that she was ill and didn't know she'd be around till Christmas. In my opinion, she didn't know what the outcome of court was going to be. I mean, they could have permanently disconnected her Wi-Fi and or taken her devices. Anything was possible. I think later on, after speaking to her legal friend that she talks about on her lives, or somebody with a legal background, she found out what would likely be the most, what would be the most likely outcome. In my opinion, that's when she did that other live where she claimed there was some nasty rumor going around that she was sick and wasn't going to be around to see Christmas. Remember, she acted so upset about that rumor, knowing she's the one that started that. And Fingal, if it's you saying that she didn't attend court virtually because you were at her house doing gardening, Bam showed me her backyard plenty of times when we were talking. Her bedroom is not located in the garden. You couldn't be in two places at once, darling, if you wanted to be. Another channel put a video up of both lives. They have her talking about what she said about not being around till Christmas. And then they have it playing where she was talking about someone had started the rumor. So, I mean, it's out there in the community. Come on, people. Why she turned on the family again? My best guess is she did what she does best. She did it for shock value. It's controversy, and she is the queen of controversy. Doesn't make it right. I can't think of any other reasonable explanation, but that's my opinion. So, moving on. I want to talk about Dorothy and juror number 4's live and the issue that people had with it. I'm going to answer questions, you guys, and before I bring on my guest. I just wanted to get this out of the way. For Dorothy and juror number 4 and their live, I didn't have time to go over on their channel and read the comments, but I was informed enough of it. I also heard various people's opinions on it. I was told about it. I also listened to a couple of panels where everyone seemed to have an opinion. And that's fine. Most of you guys were not the ones being accused for over 2 years of doing a lot. A long list of horrible things. We were. Lesley and Amber weren't present on their live. I wanted to show up and show my public support for Lesley and Amber. And also Helen, who was another victim. She is another victim, and a sea of countless names from the same abuser. But they highlighted these stories in my interview with Lesley. So yeah, I was there in chat. For those of you who have never walked in our shoes, you probably can't understand what it's like to be abused. Not to that level. All for trying to inform and warn others of these people's malicious intentions. So to be present while people were being vindicated publicly, of course I showed up. It was a little vindication. A little's better than none. For us, it brought some closure. Even better was the public acknowledgement and apologies given to us by certain people who were convinced we had done all of these things. And yeah, they also admitted they never saw an ounce of proof. They went on the abuser's word alone, which I was guilty of myself. A long time ago, I did the same exact thing. I didn't handle it necessarily in the same manner, but some people will probably say I did. My joining a chat on a channel that did at one time infuriated me, but who wanted to acknowledge their wrongs and apologize to myself and 2 of my friends who I witnessed go through a significant amount of abuse that they did not deserve. It just, I don't see what the problem is with me being there. I know some of you wish, but there just was not any ulterior motives involved. And what you saw is exactly what took place. I know it angers some of you. I know it does. especially those who were there to witness the effects and the toll that it took on all of us, or because you have your own personal hurts and issues with them. But this wasn't about that. Not at that moment. It was for Lesley and Amber, just as it was when we stood up against what we felt was targeted abuse on others who we felt needed our support. Because we knew what it was like to go through that and to not be believed and have very little support. It's hard because all of our friends and even subs have varying opinions on what is right and what is just. But I mean, we love you all for it and still respect your opinions. I'm just asking, please be supportive of Lesley and Amber. They didn't deserve what they were put through. They did deserve being vindicated by those that we never thought would even realize the truth, much less admit it on a public platform. I can only be accountable for my own actions. Lesley and Amber and I all agreed to let Dorothy and Juror Number 4 use some of our content. I don't think it was fair or right for others to go to their channel and attack them because some of you don't want to accept the truth or believe that an injunction was served. I'm not above being able to accept someone's apology when it's sincere. Doesn't make us best friends. We're not all of a sudden conversing behind the scenes or have plans to collaborate together. No. I mean, it simply brought a means to an end so we can start to move on, move forward. And in the words of Juror Number 4, do better as an individual and as a community. That's it. The end. Don't sit on panel or in a comment section and sulk. Be bitter or hate the fact that we are striving to redirect our attention towards returning to doing true crime content instead of the hate-filled drama, which has drained every last one of us dry. Especially when some of you have done the very same thing. That's it. That's all I wanted to say before I add a guest. I did want to add in a huge thank you from myself, Lesley, and the rest of the Ninja Mod Squad to each and every one of you who took the time out to watch the interview and who did show your support and your interest and efforts in moving forward. And by the way, I meant to say this on the last live. Lesley used to be a viewer in our community when all of this was going on. And she has her own channel now. I think I put the link in the description. I should have. If it's not there, I'll add it. It's a mix of content, though, that highlights her talented ability to just create. She's a great creator. So for those of you listening, if you want to go out and check her channel out, that'd be great. Give her some support. Is there anyone that has any questions before we move forward, before we move on and I add my guest in? Let me go over and look. I'm gonna scroll back and chat just a bit and see. You absolutely did remain respectful, Juror. Did you remove the number 4 part? I don't know he has anything but Juror Number 4. Yeah, it is disturbing. She continues to hurl abuse at others like Helen despite the injunction. I don't know if this honestly, that just, and on one hand, it blows me away. On the other hand, I'm not surprised. You know, what did Appa say? Let me go back. Yeah, the proof. I mean, come on. It's a protective type of order. If you want the information, go get it. But I don't think that's fair to ask a victim to show anything. There's no way that we're going to step up here and lie about such a thing when it can be proven. There is a third party rule. Oh, actually, I'm glad you mentioned that. Hold on, let me get over to something real quick. Hush. Hold on 1 second. He's barking because my other dog won't share the blanket. It's freezing here. He's my little old dog. He's a bit bossy. I don't know where he gets that from. So I read the restraining order, the injunctions, a judicial order. There's just a couple things I'm going to review real quick. Was, you know, it does restrain a person, but it's different over there in an aspect that, like I said, it's usually attached to a criminal case, and this was civil. There was something I added on at the end, though, right here. This was one thing I left off, and this was on there as well. It was further ordered that one, a power of arrest is attached to clauses 1, 2, and 3 above. I'm just going to scroll through these. You guys can pause it later. I don't want to read it all out again, but this was 1, 2, and 3 above. And then there's number 3. So no third party. And we're not going to continue to carry on about this. I'm not doing this, you know, I'm not doing this to flaunt it, brag about it. It should have never come to this. It should not have. I mean, you know, we all have fallen outs. We all have tiffs and difference of opinions, and some people feel others have screwed them over, and you know, things that I talked about in the first part in the interview. I'm not negating away from any of that. This was separate. It was separate from all of that. And again, it should have never been brought to that. All right, well, I'm going to bring on the next guest. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to see if anybody had any last questions real quick. Did I miss anybody that had a question? I'm glad that Dorothy called it out as the truth too. It was unnecessary abuse. There was a lot. And I think, I honestly do. I haven't talked to Dorothy other than being in her chat that night. But we're all human. We make mistakes. I'm not speaking on anything else on her channel, simply that live. She did apologize, and she shared the video. Whether some people think there was an agenda or ulterior motive or whatever, I'm not going to argue against anybody's opinions out there, because we have a lot of subs who have been through this with us, whether they wanted to go along with us or not. Everybody has a right to their opinion, but I appreciated it. I didn't see Maria come in. There she is. Oh yeah, I mean there was a lot. Yeah, there's some people that I personally can never. It's just going to take a higher power. I can't forgive them. I'm definitely not at that place for some of the things they've done. I mean, I was so mad that night. I called into Dorothy's live. Like, I was fired up that night because I just thought, how much can you say and nobody believe you? Like, I was really angry that night, but it is what it is, because I do believe that what's done in the dark will come to light. That's why I have that mantra on my channel. I do believe that. And it took a long time, but even a little vindication is something. It's something. And I mean, a judge saw it for what it was and signed it. That's big. And juror number 4 did her homework. She was very kind. I'm going to go ahead and she's backstage. Hold on one second. It's not juror number 4. I'm just saying when I said she. Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, peekaboo.
It's Amber.
I was telling Ginger, I'm like, great, they're going to be expecting Leslie's like pretty English soft voice, and nope, you get me. Sorry, you guys get me. But
we love you, Amber. I'm sorry, you guys. I had to turn my volume all the way up because I can barely hear Amber. So I'm sorry if it picks. There is no background noise. I don't know, for whatever reason. When I turn my volume all the way up, it makes it sound like somebody's eating or something in there. Nobody, it's just me. There's nobody in the background, and I'm not eating. So I'm sorry if I'm bursting your eardrums, and because she's a little bit harder to hear. I'm hoping by the new year that my hearing impairment equipment will be improved.
Can y'all hear me okay? Hello? Ginger.
I can hear you.
Okay, just making sure.
Hold on a second. Let's see.
Can the chat hear me?
I don't know.
Hi, everyone. Somebody just give me a thumbs up that they can hear me, so I don't start rambling and have to repeat myself.
I've never done that before.
Right, me neither.
Okay, Maria says that she can hear you fine.
Okay, awesome. So, oh goodness, where to start? Well,
hey, I know.
Where?
We could start with the big question everybody had about the hypersense comment.
Well, I would also, I think I want to open with, well, I just want to, before we just jump into that, I do want to acknowledge this because it's been a few weeks and I've not acknowledged it because, quite frankly, I didn't really know how. Bam made it clear that she was done dragging me. And, 2 of my other friends were, trying to trying to get some kind of apology, and she announced that, she cannot apologize, that I need to come out with the truth. Well, so what kind of position does that put me in? Because first of all, like, do I want to spend the rest of my life going back and forth with Bam? No, absolutely not. So yeah, like, that's great. You don't want to drag me anymore. That's wonderful. But that's all I've done is say the truth. I've practically been killing myself saying the truth. I went down the rabbit hole of my community posts today of just how many times I said, show this proof, with the story. And we're going to get into this and show exactly what happened for hopefully the last time. But, the story has changed from, they mocked him on a live stream. They mocked him on that live stream. They passed pictures. They did. It was forever changing. And it actually got to the point where I said, you know what? Like, I will pay you if you can produce any proof of this. Like, that's how desperate I got. So to hear, like, she has to say the truth. Like, so what am I supposed to, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't want to continue this back and forth either. But when it's something so deeply personal that every single time it's lied about, I feel I have to speak up, and I think that's like one of my biggest things is, like, I'm just going to be just gut wrenching honest. It brought out an anger and hate in me that I never knew I had, and, this is something, and I hear, and we'll get into this more as well, but, to hear people say, well, well, if da-da-da, we'd quit talking about it and this person keep posting it. And there is a point to that, but it should have never happened. And it is something that's going to always follow, because anytime she has a next victim, what do you think they're going to go to? They're going to pull that up, because who wouldn't? This woman's going at you, and, so many things. And, like, to boast about it afterwards and be, so proud. Like, listen, going at a child, that's not a flex. Any form of child abuse, verbal child abuse, that's not a flex. That's not something to boast about or brag about or feel cocky about. And, that's another thing I want to say is, like, all these different, excuses. It is child abuse. It's not child abuse. The bottom line is it's wrong. It was wrong on all levels. And the way I see it is this, like, let's say that a predator puts a picture up of a child on a website, right? Well, that child might not ever know about it, but that's still abusing the child. And it's, it is a form of it. Like, but again, the bottom line is it was wrong. And, I don't know, I can save some of this as we go if you want to go ahead and jump into the.
Well, I think she got upset because there's someone, I could call him out, but honestly, I don't even have the energy to go there. I'm not going to give this person the energy, but they held alive, and it's enablers. And honestly, the other night, I'm the one that was at rock bottom, and Amber was the one reminding me there's always going to be those, always, that are just going to continue to challenge, to keep drama going, to just be nasty. There's always going to be those. At some point, though, we have to rise above it, and somebody's got to walk away, or else it's going to continue. But it really upset Amber, the things that this channel was saying. We heard a clip of it.
Saying
they were saying that just some things that go ahead.
Well, basically, they were saying that, making excuses, and basically they made the statement that, Bam didn't drag her child. She offered her child up to anybody who was willing. Well, first of all, okay. First of all, I believe when she said, fat, ugly, sticks fingers up, you know what? Does she like it when her dad does this? I could go on, saying her name over and over. I believe she was referring to her. So, yes, that is dragging a child. And second of all, like, I don't know if you think that sounds better. Like, but you have to put that in perspective as well, because she did do that. She did offer it up. She did say in front of hundreds of subs, I'll never forget when she said, anybody in this chat that's compelled to follow through with any of the things I'm saying, it's open season on, well, everybody knows her name now, on Lily. And that put me in so much fear, because here's the thing, people, like, you don't know what lunatic is in that chat just wanting to so badly be a mod or be this or be that could do it. Like, that is so damn dangerous. I mean, I remember literally just feeling fear, like, oh my God, so yeah, she did do that. But, I believe the things she was saying, she was definitely referring to her. So yes, she did. And God, and I don't want to have to rehash this every day. And, I am like, so I'm always grateful when people speak up about the truth about it, and I do say that, like, Jared did reach out to me and said, do you mind if we clip something? And, I flat out said, like, yeah, as long as I just want the truth to be told about this. I've practically been screaming it over here because I knew that Dorothy was running on just Bam's mouth. I knew that, and I think that, she was probably caught up in what she was doing and, whatever. But, like, that's what I asked, is I just, just please acknowledge that this is what actually happened. That's it, like, I even mentioned that, it's, even when all that was going on, it was like, okay, she's having a go at me, but can we please tell the truth about that? So, just on this alone, like, I am very grateful that they vindicated that. I really am. So, I mean that. And I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I just want the truth to be told. That's all I've wanted. And Space actually brought it up in her live as well. I want to mention her. She did a play-by-play and told the truth about it and whatnot. And I'm appreciative of any time somebody is gonna, tell the truth. And I mean, guys, like, come on. I mean, if it were like, I've said this since day one, but if it were, let's say, Martin Dehan, let's say it was his kid, I would still feel the same way. Like, we can't overlook this kind of stuff. Rather, they're dragging AD or dragging somebody you absolutely hate. Like, you can't, you just can't overlook it when it's something that bad. You know what I mean? So it's always like a bittersweet thing. Like, I'm always so glad when people finally wake up and see it. And, at the same time, it's like, oh my God, but wasn't this enough back then? You know what I'm saying? So, but regardless, I like you said, I am glad to get that I was actually really surprised that she said, look, I was wrong for saying that, so I do appreciate that. So, anyway, you want to dive in?
No, I mean, her daughter is a real person, despite if, she was listening to that or not, just as a parent, and all of us as parents. I mean, that.
Oh, I just
it's
saw
like
you
I
put
told
that
her
picture.
That's my favorite one right there.
I know. I felt like this because I've always said, like, I can't put her full picture out, but I feel like if people actually saw her, and they could say, like, oh my God, like, this is a beautiful, young, innocent child. Like, So I felt like this covered her face enough. And you get to see Sweetie Pie.
And it's a shame, that we should be able to share these things. But my gosh, I mean, who wants to after all of this? But I was telling Amber today that, I could see it being a little different had I not met Lily. But the fact that I did, so when all that happened, like all I could think of is, picture her when I met her. And even if I didn't, just as a mother and as a good, decent person, it's like you said, it is considered malicious and it is illegal what was done, community guidelines. But at the end of the day, it was just wrong. It was wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I can honestly, no, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, not once during this whole entire time have I ever felt like, saying something hideous about her kid or grandson, or, at the time, Dorothy's little boy. I know she has a little boy that's around the same age as, mine. And I just never, anybody's like, I don't know. It's just not in my thinking. Like,
I'm glad you brought that up though, because I had gotten word that her son was attacked, and I don't know if that was recent or a long time ago or if we got blamed for that, but I assure you, we've never, ever, I have been completely against people sharing people's children, knowing anything about them from the very get-go. I mean, we went round and round when I was still, or I thought, we were friends before I realized what kind of people I was dealing with. But, you don't use somebody's kid as your profile picture to get back at them. That is just, I don't understand why the arguments can't just remain here, why it went to this level. And,
I agree.
I joined at maybe, I think around November of 2018. Is there anybody in here that was here before that was in this community, in the true crime community? Was it always this way? I mean, I know drama happens in every community, but was it like this before we got here? Because I'm just curious. I think about that, and I don't know what the answer is. Hey, Space, welcome.
Hey.
I mean, was it, I mean, I knew that there was drama, obviously, but I just can't imagine. I mean,
yeah, I don't remember. And, I've had to learn some lessons, like, because I was very, I mean, and I'm thinking like back to, I've said this though. I'm like, the sad thing is that, like, Bam did know what she looked like. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, I guess in the beginning, you just don't think somebody's going to go to that level.
And we shared pictures. We shared pictures of our families. I mean,
right. Well, you just did. It's just a natural thing. We're all moms, and so it's just a natural thing to do. And, I've definitely, had to really learn about that. Again, I felt like this picture covered her face a good bit. So,
actually, that photo looks just like you. She looks just like you in the photo.
Oh, is she my baby? She's so beautiful.
The older she gets, the more that she's starting to look a lot like you. And that actually, in the picture, her hair almost has a red tint to it.
Yeah. And thank you for all the compliments, guys. But yeah, she's an actual person, and so, yeah, I got to think about that, and it really shouldn't, and then it was like after it all happened, then, and this is just like they're doing to Lesley right now, like, and I just want to touch on that for a minute. Can y'all still hear me okay? I kind of feel an echo. Okay.
Let me turn my volume down. I might be the one that's doing that.
Well, I just want to say, like, use your brains. Like, why in the world would she come out of hiding and just lie about an injunction? Like, that makes it almost makes me laugh, like some of the things they come up with. But I mean, this is the same person that detected our thumbs down, I think. So, like, the thumb down detector. But I mean, just some of the,
That
some of the
cracks me up.
It does, me too. We have detected all of their thumbs down on their video. Like, give me a break. But
there was a sub of yours. Is it Michael something? He cracks me up over that, the thumb detector. That really cracked me up that time.
And but I've noticed, and this is what like, if you watch her chat long enough, it's like, they work overtime in trying to, like, spread nasty stuff. Like, for example, I mean, right after this, I guess some people felt, oh, well, this is the way to fight back. Let's just start some rumors. Let's say that when she got her DUI, that she left her kid in the car and ran from the cops. Like, that, what else? I mean, I've heard anything from that to, I don't have custody of her, to, I mean, and it sucks. I'm not gonna lie. Like, to see those things, and like, the thing is, like, she knows that's not true. I mean, my records have been out there. That is not true in the least. Like, she wasn't even in my car, and I didn't wreck my car. Like, one of the comments said she didn't even check to see if her daughter was okay and just ran from the cops. Like, give me a break. No, that didn't happen. And I mean, they always bring up my past, like, which, I don't have any, I'm an open book when it comes to things I've actually done. I'm proud of where I've come from. I've worked really freaking hard, so I'm an open book with that. But to, make up stories, and it's like, I was talking to somebody the other day. What they do is they take something that's true about you, but then twist it. You know what I'm saying? So then I think they think that it'll be believable because that part's true, but we're going to add in this to make it worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the lies. And that's why I was so angry. I can't even tell you. I mean, that's what they do. And and people who don't know you do feel the need to come back and defend yourself and be like, what? I've just never been through anything like this, but I can assure you that the injunction is not a lie.
No.
And I wanted to talk to Amber about the hypersense comment, because let's talk about what started this, because, and I'll go ahead and
let's get the story out, even though it has been said. Let's say it, and like, let's let it stick. And for the last time, I'm almost going to scream, show proof of any of these things that they've, like, there is none. This is it. Like, I never did anything to her grandson. I never took a swipe at him. That never happened. So, yeah.
Hold on. Sorry, that's the wrong one.
Oh, yeah, that was a nice, loving message right
about
there.
You leaving the kid in the car. Yeah.
Right. That was after, the Lily thing.
Hold on, I've got it right here.
God.
This was Bam's community post. Care to explain this, Amber? And you can see right there. So the night that Amber had her first live, and I drove up there and joined her, it really went from there, because that was the night that she said she was going to call CPS on you. We hadn't even pulled out of the parking lot yet, and she was convinced that
it was crazy.
It was all about her, that live was all. I just wonder if she ever did watch that and realize what an idiot she was. It wasn't even about any of that.
No, and the thing is, like, okay, she was dragging me and you and everyone else, in my case, she was dragging me for 9 months. I didn't say one word because I always felt like that's either what she wants or it's just going to stir it up. So you know what? I'm just going to go the silent route. Well, it got to where enough was enough. And that's when you drove up and we had her live, and it's still on my channel. Nothing's been edited. If you edit a chat, if you edit a live, the chat disappears. So nothing is edited. So, that was the first thing was, and see, sometimes I wonder.
I can add that. I can add the link to this hypersense that was on the video, and we'll show you what the video looked like. I'm not going to play it, but some screenshots. But
and, let me just say this.
I'll add it in the description is what I was going to say, in case anybody does want to see where this entire situation. So to fast forward, it got bad that night that we did her live. That was what really kicked it off, because she was threatening to call CPS on Amber. I mean, she was in a rage.
Like, I still have it on my channel. She said that she was going to go into every single one of our real lives and calling, some of our kids the R word, but here's my thing. I have to ask, and, maybe this is something for her to think about, because sometimes I feel like people literally just go to her and stir it up, and I don't even think she bothers to watch, and really fact check. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, maybe a particular person goes to her and says something like, oh, you should see they did this over here. And instead of actually looking, she just flies off the handle.
She watched some back then, but she definitely didn't watch it all. But she relies heavily on people to tell her and do her stuff for her. But the thing is that it was just so at next level. I mean, that night,
it was scary, honestly.
I mean, I had to talk Amber down that night because she was so upset. So then fast forward through all of this, but that's really what kicked off between Bam, Solange, me, Amber, and that's when it went next level. It was, I mean, really, it was bad enough with Martin, everybody, but this right here was different because it involved our children. And but fast forward to this. So Amber did a video. I watched it today again for the third time. I've seen it before, but it had been a while, and I was like, what? The hypersense comment, what video was that on? This is gonna make y'all laugh. Hold on.
It's on a video that's got nothing to do with her. So,
nothing to do with her.
But it's just me highlighting some more BS that's been done. And here's the thing. I was telling Ginger, I laugh and I am a very sarcastic person, because I guess I've dealt with so much. It's just kind of how I cope sometimes. And you gotta sometimes, it's crazy. I see people fly off the handle over a nasty comment. And to me, I was telling Ginger, it's sad. I'm almost desensitized. If it's just a nasty comment, I'm I'll get angry, but it's I almost expect it. But sometimes you gotta laugh at some of it.
Everybody copes differently. And oftentimes when Amber might sound like she's laughing, I know for a fact that's her coping skill. It is. And it's not that she finds. Now looking back on this, we did laugh today because
it's a stripper ghost. Hey.
Yeah. But see here, that I don't know if I put that picture up. Hold on. Oh man, I think I left that one off.
But that's me by the cemetery.
Yeah, they made this video. I mean, they made this.
Who does this?
Amber, you explain it. I'm gonna see if I have the
okay, I'll explain it. So for some wild reason, Solange and some others concocted this story that I faked my death. This is one of the things they said that day. They dragged Lily too. That I apparently, get this, I faked my death in 2003 or 2004. Now let's think about this for a minute.
Amber, is your volume up? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, it's up. Hang on, let me unplug my headphones and see if it's any better.
Okay, man,
is this better at all?
I can't tell. You'd have to talk more than that.
Hello.
I mean, it's about the same for me. But okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I wish I would have uploaded the picture of the stripper ghost. That's probably one of the funniest things I've seen yet.
Oh God, it's hysterical. It's on the avatar of that. Just watch the video. It is funny, and I actually used it as my avatar for like a week because I just thought if somebody's gonna go to the trouble of drawing a stripper ghost.
You can see a little bit right there in this screenshot of the profile picture, but it really is like you can't see the fish. So you are going to have to screenshot it and zoom in. It has fishnet stockings on, and they were implying that since Amber was a dancer, she had to be a stripper, but she's not. But,
right.
But yeah, I mean, the thing is that things like this, they're funny. They're frustrating at the time, especially if you're, for what we were going through at the time. It was something like as silly as this that would just be like one more thing and then one more thing, but the point is this is the video. This is the video.
It was me just taking the piss out of this, and
somebody created this on Amber. She did the video.
I, quote unquote faked my death, which I didn't. I mean, let me finish what I was saying real quick. Like,
okay,
well, let's just do this math here, guys. So they want to say I faked my death in 2003. I was like 19. I was in college. Like, what? I had one job in my entire life at that point. What purpose would I have of faking? Because like Solange wanted to say it was like for taxes or something, and I finally got to the point where, in one of my videos, I'm like, well, the IRS says different because I make payments every month to them, and like, I mean, I have a social security number. I have, hey, if somebody wants to take my identity, I mean, if you want it, go ahead. But no, I'm making a joke, but it's ridiculous. Okay. I'm not freaking Harry Houdini. I've never faked my death. I wouldn't even know how to. So, but anyway, they made a page to just further this story. I guess that's fun. But anyway, that's the video. I was just showing it and laughing at it, basically.
Sorry, he's barking. He is very verbal. If the other dog has the fluffy blanket, he wants the fluffy blanket.
So, but yeah. So in a nutshell, the video had nothing to do with her. And, from day one, my story has never changed because my story is the truth. This is
but they were sitting on the panel. Okay. They were sitting on panel, and, Solange went back 3 months. At the time, this video was 3 months old, and just happened to find it. No, she pulls that up, and it says, "This looks like the working Gump's granny." Well, nobody, and I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. Nobody ever made fun of her grandson,
not once, ever.
And then, but she took that as like the baby Forrest Gump. Yeah. But she ran with it, and while she was encouraged, and so that is when the night that she then went after Amber and Lily. But we wanted to show y'all. So, but there was a creator, Gump's granny. Somebody made this comment. Hypersense commented on my channel plenty of times and dirty deleted. I don't think it was it was to be malicious. I don't. And I don't know if they were joking. I don't know them. I don't know if they were joking, if they thought that Gump's granny had done it, created the Facebook page. I'm not, other than my private Facebook, I mean, I have a Ginger Ninja Facebook page, but I don't, join all the groups and all that on there. I can only, YouTube's enough.
Right.
And, but yeah, it was a page on our group or something on Facebook. They had created, and Amber did the video, and there's the comment. there it is. So see, it wasn't anything. And so when I tell you guys that Amber never deserved any of this, when Lesley didn't, I'm not saying any of us are perfect or any of us are free. You know, when I say innocent, that's free from doing anything wrong. But in regards to what we were accused of with her children, we were innocent. And I stood by it from day one, and I continue to stand by that. And so, you know,
honestly, like, I mean, I hope that you guys, some of you now, can really see the pattern here, because every single person that she goes for, this is the narrative that they're attacking her children. You know, like, I attacked her children. Ginger did when she was, you know, she dragged Kelly. Kelly apparently did. Now Helen's attacking her kids. You know, it's always, and I honestly almost feel like, in a way, it's like she saw that and thrived on it. Like, oh, this will be my weapon. You know, I mean, it's weird, you know, and like, I'll be honest, like, you know, I mean, y'all, this is someone that when I had that live with Ginger, she actually made a community post like the next day saying that I abuse babies because I went live like 2 days after he was born. I guess I was supposed to think about that. When all I said in that live, I mean, like I said, it's still up. All I said was, can you just stop? Can you move on? You know, I'm not a prostitute. I'm not whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was
it. And see, if people are saying, we wanted to try to break this down again, because there may be some things left on my channel. Most of it is not anymore because it's been up there for so long, and it's just a reminder of some really bad times and on YouTube. And but because Lesley and I really didn't prepare a lot for that interview, and we just didn't have time. And I just assumed that most of everybody knew the majority of it. But it just leads me back to why I feel creators need to back off the subs a little, because unless they're participating in the abuse on a channel, just because they're there doesn't mean they know what's going on. I go to Space's channel. I'm friends with Space. And the one thing about Space that I will say is she has never laid the expectation on me that her battle is my battle, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And we have always had that mutual respect, the same with Amber and the same with the rest of us, that, you know, her enemies are not my enemies, and vice versa. I like a lot of creators. Somebody's probably going to throw something through my screen, but I like Mommy Ramblings. I have always admired her for what the empire she has built. I don't know. And like this, you know, these new things coming out, I don't know half the people or what happened. You know, I just don't.
You really do. She really doesn't. Like, she doesn't keep up. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you
I mean, if I come in my chat, I will have to ask so many questions. I know everybody gets sick of it, because I'll come in from out of nowhere and I will not have any clue of what they're talking about. People think that I'm this malicious little person behind the curtain plotting and planning, and it's not like that at all.
No, it's really not. You're busy, like, you know.
But I mean,
but it does get like, oh, go ahead.
But I was just going to say, you know, we're friendly with a lot of people on YouTube, and they may not like everybody we like, and vice versa. But that's the thing about, I'm very careful in the people I choose, because, you know, Space and I talk about things that aren't even associated with YouTube. She's been very kind to me and supportive, and it's like, I made a post the other day, and I've never done this before, but I added in there, I shared something on the Delphi, and I was like, I felt the need to go back and edit and put in there, I don't know this creator, because that was the truth. I didn't. But why should I feel the need to do that? Because somebody would have assumed that, you know, and come to find out, probably wasn't the best person I could have shared. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. If I think somebody does good coverage on something, I'll share it because I don't have time to cover it, and I'll share it out there. But I do, like, I feel the need to now put in there, I don't know this creator personally, because somebody's got to just assume the worst and it's just going to go from there. And, there's a lot of people. It's hard because if you're friendly with a lot of people, everybody's bound to have tiffs with somebody. But the one thing I will say about the people that I've interacted with, they have not gotten mad, even when they said, well, you probably shouldn't be going over there. I don't, they share their opinions. They're free to do that. But,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's, unless they're participating in the abuse. No, did it make me feel good when I saw people over there on Martin's channel when he first came up with the most preposterous things about me? I was like taken back then. I was thinking, these people know me. They know better. They know better. They know me. But that's not how it works on YouTube, unfortunately. And loyalty is changed like underwear daily. So I was just gonna say, and I lost some friends throughout the process because I was so offended. I'm not anymore, because now I see some of my own subs in places that I would never think I would see them. Right. But you'll see, if you pay attention in chat, there are those that are engaging in abuse. And then there are those that are just there socializing. There's one, I know I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Is Archimedes. I don't know how you
Mr. He's really nice.
That's what I was going to say.
He's everywhere. Like he's Mr.
Yes.
I call him Mr. Switzerland because he's literally he's
neutral.
He has the capability to go in every single chat and remain neutral, and I kind of respect that. Like, I really do. He's kind of lucky because it does get like really stressful. Like, like I said, like we all like, you
but I think he has a wife too, doesn't he? And and they are used to her girlfriend or something. But maybe I'm wrong. But Archimedes, I think that's how you pronounce it. But I see him everywhere, and it doesn't matter. Like, you can literally tell he is a peaceful person.
Yeah.
And on every channel he goes to, he's respectful to everyone, and he doesn't. He's there to chat and add some things, but he doesn't engage. And so people have gotten mad at me for being on a channel where I was somewhere, and I used to allow that to bother me. And at one day I just thought, this is not a dictatorship, and I don't want to put that kind of pressure on subs.
Right.
And while I'm addressing this, I wanted to say one more thing. That same enabler that was talking about you and Lily said that we're the ones that keep bringing this up. And as I said in the interview, that the only time we ever brought everything back up was when we were pulled back up. What that person doesn't know, because he wasn't here at the time, he's now inserted himself, is that we went silent for 6 months, never said a word.
Yeah,
the war came upon us first every time we were brought up again. But there was a point to this.
Every community post I've made in retaliation is because it's being talked about and lied about. Like, like I said, it's hard to move on from. I mean, like I said, it's ironic that she says she wants the full truth out. Well, I don't know what more I can say. This is the full truth. Like, they're really, truly.
I know what I was going to say now. Is that he said the reason why they're getting paid.
Paid by who?
Honey, I get abused for free.
I do
what are you talking
about? I do too.
We're not monetized.
No.
And yes, and a long time ago, I had a Patreon and I did pretty good, but that all got ruined, all of it. And it is what it is. So I got rid of it altogether. But no. Now, I'm not going to say I'm not going to be monetized forever, but I'm not monetized. And everything that we did, We truly did do it with decent intentions. We didn't have any kind of agenda, or why would anybody randomly just say these things and try to warn others? It is what it is. The past is the past now. And I mean, I even said it on the interview. I had taken a very long break. I think like around 4 months now. I had to step away. Like there was just no happiness. I enjoy engaging and seeing subs and stuff like that. But in general, it was the happiness. There was no more sunshine.
Yeah, I mean,
None.
it's something else whenever you literally, you're afraid to swipe that phone open because you don't know what the hell you're going to be like going into, and like I said, I went down I mean, if anybody really wants to, like, if you go down the rabbit hole of my community posts, it literally is just so much of me saying, no, this is the truth. No, this ain't true about me. And just defending myself over and freaking over again. It gets old, it really does get old. So, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and so, I mean, another reason why I brought Amber back on is because of Dorothy's Live, and um, just trying to explain some things to some people. We automatically assume that everybody knows everything going on because we're
Right.
all in the same community, but we don't. And the more that you venture out to channels that you haven't been on, or that you don't normally, um, like Helen's channel, I had not been on her channel before, and I learned a lot of new things. But you start to realize you don't know. You don't know as much as you think you do. I surely don't.
No, and you know what
So,
else? Like, you got to really remember that, like, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody really is, for the most part, thinking about their own stuff and their own fights. And I mean, this is just human nature. You know what I mean? So I can't expect for everyone on YouTube to know the details of all of my battles, and vice versa,
yeah,
you
and
know?
don't get mad at me. Just come ask me, because this stuff is stressful. It's like it's unnecessary stress. Just come and email me. It's on my About Me tab, or just bring it to me. There's no point in, you know, if I think somebody's done something to me, like me personally, and I don't mean I'm gonna email them. I'm gonna try to reach out first. I'm not gonna just take it to everybody else. I don't get that mentality. I don't think I ever will, but I'm not saying I've never, of course I've put stuff up. I
Yeah.
mean, it was exposing malicious people. There's a
You,
difference between that and a targeted abuse that went real life. That is completely different.
yeah, it is. It really is. And I think that, like I said, at the end of the day, this is just a general lesson. And I think everybody needs to really take this in. Don't always ask more questions. Like, there's always more to a story. There's always ask for proof, like, and I get it. Like, sometimes when you're friends with somebody, you just expect the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? But I would have to start questioning something if they're just repeating it over and over, and I've not seen any. Because look, let's get really down to it. If I had actually taken a swipe at a grandson, don't you think that would be, like, at this point, that would be plastered? That would be out. That would be, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to use your critical thinking. And just like with Lesley here, do you really think she would just pop out of nowhere and make this up? Like, no.
No, especially something like that. I mean, that's
Right.
pretty insane. But I
Right.
think for the most part, like I said earlier, it's that I do appreciate the support. I appreciate the effort of acknowledgement. It does. Like, it has been a very long road, and but
Yeah.
regardless of fallouts, it should have never gone to this level. And I understand that people are going to get upset with one another. Things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Just keep them here. Simple as that. I mean, you just keep it on YouTube.
Right.
It is, you don't have to drag in everybody else and their brother and the SWAT team while you're at it because you're pissed off and you can't cope. I mean,
like, yeah, what happened? And it's really funny. I was thinking the other day, just the progression of how things have become on here. And I remember when Martin Dehan first came on, and it was like a big ordeal that BB account was running around writing slanderous things about people. Like, that was like the big, like, who is doing this, And I think about it now and I'm like, my God, that was nothing. That's every day now, like I literally have a BB on my ass every day. Sorry for
it is though. I mean, it is.
Yeah. Wow. And I mean, it really has progressed. I mean, like when I think, okay, well, then I thought the worst thing that would ever happen to me on here is when they doxed my records, and all of that, and they were, just having a ball with my past. Thought that was the worst. And then we fast forward and it just gets even worse. So, and I don't like, and I don't like to be like, I don't like to play victim. It's not that I'm trying to be, the forever victim, but I can't change what's happened either. Like there's just been a lot, and I've not been an angel. Like I'm not a perfect person, like, sometimes a person can only take so much. So yeah, they might say something back that's hurtful, but I can honestly say I've never done the things that they've made me out to be, for sure.
Fern, you're welcome to be here, but I'm not familiar with your name. I don't know if you're new to this community, or if you've been around forever. I'm not sure, but
I feel like I've seen them before.
I had just responded to her. I said, me too. She said, and then it came up as I subbed to BAM, so it looked like I meant me too, but I didn't know it was her comment above that where she said, I'm staggered. This is all gone real life. That's what I was referring to. It's just nice to see all these old faces back in here again, and just some peace and quiet and just well then, Fern, if you remember the whole Team Phoenix thing, yes, you've been around for a while.
It's been quite the 3 years, hasn't it? It's been a long 3 years. I can honestly say that. And it's, and it really is like, I said this last night, we really are kind of like one big dysfunctional family in the sense of like, look, even if you're somebody that I don't, there's definitely people on here that I for sure don't get along with. And then there's some that we just have our just our disagreements, but I still don't want to see the absolute worst happen to them. I still don't want them to ever feel like I felt that particular day for 8 hours,
Because you're a decent person. You're a decent human being. That's why.
Yeah.
I'm just reading back through chat.
It's good to see all these people here.
I know it is nice. And like I said, and we're all from various places. We come from different.
Well, that's another areas. Thing is,
mm-hmm.
Sometimes you agree with the creator on a particular topic, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you agree with them on this topic, or you can converse with a particular person about this subject, but you don't see eye to eye on this subject. And that's life. Life is not just black and white. It's very gray. And that's
you're always going to have people who aren't going to like you. That's the truth of the matter. And that's fine. It's just when they start lying. And is Bunny here? I don't see her in chat.
Bunny, where'd you hop off to? Hippity hop.
I know, right? And she's in the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was just looking back through chat. I just noticed that. But you know, like just stop with the lies. Look, the way I think about it is there are those who are always you're gonna say one thing and they're gonna interpret it as something else.
Yeah.
I've learned that just from having kids. I can say something one way and they will interpret it a completely different way. And I've learned from that is the same with adults, but also with people from different origins, and I'm learning a lot more of that things can be really taken out of context, or so people are always going to have their difference of opinions, but I mean, leave our kids alone, leave our husbands alone, our families, and just leave it on YouTube. Say whatever you want. Dog my content,
right?
But just stop, because I am burned out. I did this interview because we thought that it would offer it would be informative and to let others know that, you don't have to tolerate it anymore.
Yeah.
You don't have to. But, I don't want to go back. I don't. I'm just not going in that direction anymore. And with the new year coming, I really, if I'm just ready I know I've said it before, but I truly am ready to get back to content. I mean, I've had a lot going on, so I am behind, but those are my plans.
Yeah. And I've really felt, I mean, obviously all I've uploaded for a while are just these like stupid little shorts, but I don't know, it's been, I don't know, I think I got burnt out and just didn't really know what direction to go in. And, and there's been a lot of things I've not known how to address, like I said, like, Bam, what she said, and, how she's done dragging me, but she won't apologize because of this. So how do I even address that? Because the lashback could be, and I got to get honest with that. Like,
Amber, is an apology going to do anything from you? If Bam were to apologize to you, is that gonna
take it away or make me feel?
Yeah, I mean, is it gonna bring you closure? Will it allow you to forgive? Will it offer you anything?
I don't even know, and I hate to say that. That's just the honest truth. But Ginger knows this about me, and most people do. I am literally the most forgiving person. Okay, like I pride myself on it because that's just something I learned in like recovery. When I made my amends and I had people forgive me for some pretty shitty things, I've tried to pay that forward. So if somebody apologizes to me, I really, I try to give that. But when it comes to my kid, it's tough. It's tough, and I hate that, and I freaking hate that, and I want to say that I hate that. I hate that it brought that out in me, But I mean, it's my kid. It's a different, it's a different thing. I mean, maybe in time, maybe it would be the beginning of a long process. I don't know, because it would have to be sincere too, like I don't want it just for, whatever, but I just would truly like to understand why in the world, she says that, the truth has to be, what more is there really? What more is there to say? And even that person that was talking in the live the other night and saying like, and I mean, he literally said, whatever Amber did or didn't do, they know, okay? They know how this went, and I'm just like, I'm literally, and I really, like, again, I really hope I don't have to go on about this again. I really, truly do, because it does get old, and I do feel like a broken record. But, just...
I don't think it's like somebody was saying they didn't think that there would be an apology, but I think that apologizing, I don't know. I mean, if you would say apologizing to Lily, but again, she's going to say, it was your fault, Amber, and the fact
Right.
that she did not abuse her directly. She went through you, so it was, by proxy. But I was just curious, like, really, for
Yeah.
me,
I
there
don't.
are some people that I don't want anything from,
Right.
nothing.
And I
But
kind of feel
that,
that. Like, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I don't want anything from nothing. I just want to be left alone, and then, we can just go our different directions. But,
Mm-hmm.
then there are the ones that I felt I needed to make amends with. I did. The apologies that I needed to make, I did. Um, if, you know, and I don't know, I mean, I get, time does have a way of healing things, but with certain things, I don't want anything to do with it for me. And I
Yeah.
was just curious because I did think about that. Like,
Right.
I've heard people join our panel and ask for an apology, but is that going to make a difference, or do you just want to not have one, not hear about it, and just move forward?
I think the second option, and it's not that, and I look, it's not, I appreciate people trying.
I
I
mean, it's an
do.
A for effort.
But
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, but, you know, at the end of the day, would it really, how would I even respond to it? I mean, I'm thinking the second thing you said is better, just, let's just,
With some, it's just better to go our
yeah,
different. And, I mean, literally, I don't care what the subs say. If a creator is not addressing you, the subs can, I shouldn't say subs, the haters or trolls, not all of them, but I'm not talking about the subs, but the ones who's the shit stirs. They can leave
yeah,
comments, they can instigate things, and it happens often.
yep,
However, if you're going on a channel and you're not hearing a creator address you, then it needs to be let go. And if it's not coming into your real life, that's just one way I could think of to. I've had my fair share where I've put plenty out there, and it's not my job to do it forever, and it wasn't my job to begin with. I did it because I thought that it was the right thing to do to help other people, but some people figured it out, and some people are still there, and that's on them. It's just a matter of time. But I don't even care anymore. I hate it for them because I never want to see anybody have to go through that. But it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. And I truly am. I just want to move on and be done with it. And with some people who will not stop, you know, who keep going behind alt channels and putting up stuff, and I
right.
just, it's so old. Like, grow up. At what point? I mean, how old are you? If you're gonna do something, use your name. If it's like the one channel that wants to um they want to go on and report and make stuff, Tummy Rumblings blog, but they don't want to. We know who's behind the channel.
Yeah, it's obvious. And I want to say, because they're talking about this in chat, this is just a prime example of when the punishment doesn't fit the crime. Like, okay, so Helen called.
Very good point.
Yeah, like, and that you can say that with my heart. Like, the punishment didn't fit the damn crime. And, like, okay, like, Solange, you didn't like to be called a wrong-in. I don't like to be called names either. But do you really have to go on and say that, kids are going to hell for if they're illegitimate and, you know, um, trashing her kids? And you know what I'm saying? Like, and I see that all the damn time is
I've never seen someone be so offended. Like, what?
hate. Just,
Okay, hold
yeah.
on a second. Let's give an example. Like, back when
Oh God, when you put
with
her,
the Smurf thing. Uh,
oh God, yes. When somebody called her Gargamel, she went
it was
on.
racist. What did she
Yeah,
say it was?
she said it was racist. It was and people, and on the panel, this girl was even trying to, like, make a truce with her. She was like, Solange, I can apologize to you, but can we just move on? And Solange was not having it. She was just, and even like the host was like, Solange, Gargamel is just a cartoon character from the Smurfs. That's not racist. Like, it's like, that's racist. And, the Gump's Granny comment on my channel, all of a sudden that's turned into, I've called him the R word. It's always something that's not.
But see,
it's
that
so
makes
aggravating.
me, if you really sit here and break it down like that and you really think about it, that's just unstable in my opinion. And
very.
I don't,
How
but
about,
but this has been going on so long, like from the moment. Yeah, I'm not even going to go back down that road. I'm just saying that it's so unstable that I don't even know what to say. I mean, this person is, there is a person out there that is clearly obsessed with my life and won't stop. And I want nothing to do with that person. And yeah, it continues. I guess we all have one, right?
right.
Some have a couple, but there is one, and she just won't stop. And I'm not talking about Bam. I'm talking about another one. But anyway, sorry, that was just off the top of my head.
Well, I
Somebody said
remember
something that made me think of that. Go ahead.
Well, I remember when, and I hope you don't mind me bringing up this example, but I remember when all you did was post you made a community post, and it was basically of one of her YouTube accounts, or something like that.
It was when I addressed her for the troll account, and she busted into everybody's live streams during, when Abigail was on panel. And you know how Abigail was. She was high level and educated, and just busted right in, that I had doxed her.
Yes.
And you know why I took it down? I knew it wasn't a real name. I knew it wasn't.
Not.
I took it down because it just wasn't, like, I don't care about the backlash. It was her. I mean, I'm looking over here now. Let me tell you what's going to happen. To me, this right here, this chat, I'm not seeing people talking about her real life, doxing her, putting her chief's name in there of her town. I'm not seeing them say anything of that sort. But the fact that she's being discussed, she will put out a bogus strike on me. And it'll be at the points where I mention her name, even though it's not a real name. And then she, this is the kind of stuff, she gets so triggered in general, but yet she does the most vicious things. And then when you talk about it, she strikes you on everything. Well, some of it she won, but it was only the people in the UK can't watch it, but everybody else in the world can. Because
I was furious
she wants to be a part of it. She wants to abuse people. She wants to be cruel as hell and do the worst stuff possible. Then she wants you to take it down, and she wants to strike you and do all these things. It's like, no, you did it. You were so proud to sit up there and talk about everything, under the sun. And now you want to strike because I brought up the fact that you did these things. That's not how it works. Right. And I would think somebody at her age would know that. But again, now that I think back, the instability. Yeah.
I was furious. I was absolutely, I even made a video addressing it because I was so furious.
Yes, Donkey, I agree.
That she had the nerve to, sit on that damn panel, suggested Dropbox, all those ugly things. And then when I fight back, you're going to strike me. Like, really?
Or they'll strike you with your own content and claim it as theirs. But here's the thing. Somebody said she's bad or almost as bad as Bam. But the thing is that Bam doesn't use 25,000 different alts. And also, she will set up alts to attack herself, to rally her friends to her side. That's the type of person that she is. That's what I believe. I mean, just watching it over time and knowing that she is certain alts, and then, all of that, it's like, who does that? Who has time to do that? If she claims to work, here I am talking about the Till video, major deal in the United States, this case. In fact, it was the case that kicked off civil rights. But, as soon as she heard me or read my community post, she goes and uploads it. It's like well, the best form of flattery is imitation, I guess, but
well, it was kind
creepy.
of ironic that there was a video right before that of a murder case with a woman named Amber, and it could just be coincidence. I don't know, but it was kind of just, I noticed it was off. But see, she's gonna fire back. Just the fact that you said she has 50 different alts or whatever, she'll make a video and call you a junkie and call you you're on disability, or what, I don't, there's certain
or
things
look what she said to Helen. I mean, what was Helen? I don't understand. First of all, I don't think anybody deserves that, but why did she even do that?
Well, Helen called her a wrongin'. That's what she did. She called her a wrongin', and Solange,
and that was it.
That was it. That's what I'm saying. It never has to be. It's always, and I'll use this as an example. And like, rather, I know Iva is outspoken, and I don't agree with every single thing she does, but Solange was brutal to her, and Bam was. I mean, they dragged her all day on Christmas and Christmas Eve last year, all day. But
who is it you're talking about that they dragged on Christmas?
Iva.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
But Iva, she made like a video, and you could tell she was obviously joking and made a crack about, when your patient gets bad or whatever, just push the wheelchair down the hill or something like that. Well, Solange goes on to say, oh, she threatened to kill me.
And she contacted her future employers. What in the actual hell?
Like, why do you have to go to that length? Oh yeah, junkie is the favorite insult. So listen, Iva does crack me up though, and she's honest.
I think Bunny said at least Bam does it in your face, and that is true. What's coming, the consistency of the abuse. But with somebody that does the things that Solange does, and again, this is not, in no way I feel targeted. This is us discussing the things that she has done. She really does do these things.
Yeah.
But so she was called a wrong'un. That is why she did that video on Helen.
Yeah, and said her kids were going to hell, and
oh my God, that video.
That was horrible. Like, that's insulting. That's not just insulting Helen. That's insulting everyone that has either had a kid out of wedlock or was born out of wedlock. That's a lot of people going to hell. Like,
yeah.
I guess I'll be saved, but poor Lily won't,
Yeah. That goes for my son.
Yeah. Right. I just don't, like, what part of your brain thinks that that's acceptable? And I was like thinking the other day, and I want to kind of touch on this, like, and I'm sure when it was raw and it was fresh and it had just happened, of course I was furious at anybody that was in that live. I never meant, and I didn't personally, anybody that was in that live, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna say you're child abusers, I'm not. And I understand that sometimes some of you just pop in and you don't know exactly everything that's going on. I get that. It was just a select few that I knew what was going on and that were in there the whole time, that I couldn't help but think, God, what, couldn't you have not just said, Bam, chill out on the kid, like anything? I guess that's
I know. I didn't get that either. But you know what? I was thinking, I would like to know your favorite person, what Fit a Crime thinks, because I think one of the first videos I ever saw of her is what, her attacking Norman and Lesley.
Yeah.
And surely she's got to realize now that
Well, she
She
does.
doesn't know more than a legal system, and certainly doesn't know more than a judge. And when she was, people tried to correct her, that was, I just am curious. I haven't heard an
Well,
apology to Lesley, that's for sure.
well, that, and I've seen some community posts where you can tell she's referring to Bam, and now she's flipped the script, and she even said in one of her posts, like, people who warned her about a particular person were absolutely right.
That was
And
after Bam dragged her,
no,
and
no,
they
no.
were talking
Well,
about,
she was dragging her, and, to be honest, Frankie. And all I'm going to say about that is, like, I get it, like, people got triggered by that, but there were so many signs prior, like, so, and I just, she made a point to follow me around and let me know that what Bam had done to me was certainly not abuse, and, certainly wasn't any form of child abuse.
and it was during the time, I mean, during the
Yeah,
time that was so
it was
shocking, and you
fresh.
were
It
so
was like,
sick and just affected psychologically from that whole thing. And it was
I was
freaking mean of
traumatized.
it to do that. It
Yeah.
was, I just am curious what she thought. What she thought. I thought that someone said that she popped on to Dorothy's live. I don't know. I don't think it was the night I was there. I think it was the night before, when Dorothy said that she was gonna. No, I think it was the night I was there, but then she popped back off. I was just wondering, I haven't heard her say anything, and
And
what she did to Lesley and doxed her too. And I
yeah,
mean, in Norman,
didn't
that's
even
a whole
know her.
different story.
Didn't even know her, but
No, did not even know her. That
right.
video, I don't know if it's still up or not on her channel, but she needs to take it down. She does, because she was so wrong.
It
And
was
then to
out of
try to
order.
tell her she was wrong, I don't even know why she inserted herself into all that.
I don't
But now
either.
that she got dragged and attacked, now Bam is bad, that it wasn't bad
Right.
what Bam has done to everybody else.
Right. That's the point. I guess that's where I'm like, guys, like, try to be mindful of, like, even if you don't like the person, you can recognize when the abuse is overboard. You know what I mean? I think that's, like, my main point I want to make is, don't be blinded, like, you know, okay, she was on a roll dragging AD, but don't let that blind you of the fact that she's abusing. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah, it makes sense. And it's like, you know, to take the word of somebody that you truly don't know very well, that's never, hey Smurfy, that never showed an ounce of proof. I'll never understand that,
I don't
because at
either.
least I have to say I made a lot of mistakes along the way, but I will say that, you know, Bam had shown me some things, which I later, we exposed that in the original Evil Reign Supreme, that it came from her own Facebook back in 2015 or 16, that she had created herself and put on her own Facebook. So my point is it was false. It was all fake, but I didn't know that back then. I eventually figured it out, but
Yeah.
I couldn't go forward. Even when somebody warns me to stay away, well, for one, I did receive a lot of warnings about Bam. I did,
I
and
did too. And I didn't at the time.
yeah.
Well, at the time, it was when Martin was actually attacking her and guilty by association. So we started getting attacked.
Well,
And
Martin didn't have that falling out yet, because Martin and I were friends, and then
no, I'm talking
it
about
was
when he came on the scene and made that video about you and then said he was going to wipe the floor with you.
that was after, because I
Okay.
had a falling out with Anna and Fairly Vague. We had a falling out because they were mods on Bam's channel, and I, I had gone onto the live, and it just went from there. They got really upset. And also, Bam had given me a wrench. I didn't ask for that. As a matter of fact, this was when we had that YouTube chat. I had told her I appreciate it, but she's going to take the wrench back. For one, I didn't want it. But two, I just told her I didn't want the responsibility. I'm really busy, and I
Yeah.
can't be at all your lives, and that wasn't a lie. It was the truth. But anyway, so we had a little bit of falling out, but Martin and I had been conversing for, gosh, a long time before that, throughout the whole AD and the Team Phoenix stuff. And, but anyway, so we had that falling out, and Martin turned, and it just, everything from there. It's like a lot of people turned against me based on his videos, and his word. Like, and he would do things. He would say, like he would say about you before you did show up on AD's channel, that you were an AD supporter, or that you dumbed down one of the family channels, just anything that would weaponize and use it to create a mob of hate. And it's like, I don't care how much I like a creator, and even my closest friends on here that I trust with everything, somebody will tell me something, I will still go, or, I will still go and look at the screenshot, or, the live, to see where it was said or what was done, or I still have to see it. That's just me.
Right.
I won't ever understand it. And it never had to go where it went. It never did.
No, never. And yeah, and I remember people saying things about her, but I just didn't. And, I want to touch on this as well. Me personally, I was never in Bama Fam or a mod or anything like that. Ginger can vouch, we were friends, but not like close like you were with her at one time, So I'm just saying, all of this stuff about, they wanted to be a part of my channel and I wouldn't let them. Like, no, that's not how it went at all. People walk away. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, but it wasn't handled well. Nobody walks away from her and gets away with it, and that's
the
bottom
line.
But
Smurfy, I haven't seen Smurfy in a long time.
I know I haven't seen all of the people that I'm seeing on here, and I'm happy to have everybody back, and just, yes, Fern, there are many, many layers. But you know what? Ignorance is bliss.
God, if I could go back and do it again, I would have things I would have done different. Well, first of all, I had no idea what I was walking into. When I first came on YouTube, I had my actual name as my channel.
I did too. We were talking about, who was I talking about that with? Is somebody, it was Iva. Yeah, I had my real name, and
me
then
too.
it was within a month that I changed it to Ginger Ninja, and I actually didn't create my channel. AD had encouraged me to create my channel too, and because he felt like he knew what had gone down was wrong. And anyway, long story short, but it's just, there has been so much based on hearsay, and I absolutely participated in gossiping and just stuff I wouldn't ordinarily do. You get caught up in it, but there are certain things you just don't lose sight of. And, people's kids and stuff like that is just, but going into somebody's real life, and look, I know a lot of people, and, I even said it before, I didn't agree with what Mensa was covering back when she was, but look what they created about her. Greg, there was a list of probably 100 things that's been done to her, but the Craigslist ad,
that was
and
dirty.
They placed a sex worker ad and her phone number, and then also, what was that other one?
I don't remember that. I know they did everything they possibly could. They doxed her,
But there was a site, and you have to pay money. Cheaterland. Yeah. But they did it to Laura Keck and some other people too, but you have to pay money. And the thing is it'll say at the bottom, we can remove if you want your information removed, go here or whatever. But it's like $1,000, and I don't think that covers everything. And it's really the level that things have gone to. And I don't watch I don't watch, like, I don't know Laura. I don't know any of that. I'm
Yeah,
just
I
saying
don't
I'd
either.
heard what had happened. And I just thought, really, like, why do people get that angry?
Right.
I guess I can't really speak on that because honestly, it's not my situation, but I had always looked back on that and thought, my gosh, like it really has, like, and when they swatted Mommy Rambling and
I
just
wonder
every,
if they ever found out who did that. You know,
I don't,
I don't think they did, but I
I don't
mean,
know. There, I would tune in and out when I got time back then of her channel, and I will never agree with people saying things about her son that passed away ever. I don't
no.
hear, there's so many creators that come on here and look for support from their subs, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I still don't to this day. And I don't care what anybody thinks. I honestly, do you really believe in your heart of hearts that somebody would use their son's passing as a means to exploit? No. Who thinks that way? If you say it because you're angry, that's one thing, but I don't know. If you look back at some of these major things that have happened to some of these creators, it does make some of the things that I've encountered seem a bit small, even though I've been through some massive things, but it does make some of this stuff, just puts it into perspective.
Yeah. Emerald, of course you're welcomed. And I hope you're doing okay with your mom, because I just see you made a comment about that. But
I didn't see her. I wasn't looking at chat.
yeah, and
I addressed her when
I'm not always the best with keeping up with chat, guys. So
no, me neither. And
if people have said something to me and I missed it, please don't
I addressed her when she came in. I
yeah.
don't even see.
And with Menza, and to this day, she'll always refer to me, as a scumbag attacker. But but I mean, I always have to say it, like, attacker, anybody that knows me knows I just do voices, okay? Even for people that I like, I do their voice. So, but
I nickname everybody, and she does the voices.
I love doing the voices of people.
Everybody's got a nickname. Y'all just don't know it. Well, you guys, Inner Sanctum does, and they're not all bad. They're actually pretty cute, but
sincerely though, even if I like you, I do your voice. Um, but yeah, I'm definitely still a scumbag attacker in her eyes, because when I first came on the scene, that's what I was. That's what I did. I did videos about her content. Because I just, that was when the crime first happened, and I was very, very triggered by it, and eventually, but I will say that's all I ever did was just make videos. I never thought to, like, post her address somewhere or any of that mess. I never thought to do any of that. Like, and I think that's like, just stick to videos. Like, if you want to, if you have a disagreement with content, whatnot, but doesn't have to go beyond videos. You know what I'm saying?
I'm all I can say is I'm very glad to not be involved in some of these things that go on that I see. I mean, I watch and I think, oh my gosh, I really am. I hate it's happening to somebody else, but I'm just glad I'm not involved in that.
Yeah. See Bam's voice. Well, whenever she talks about, it's always the baby. Sorry.
Yeah.
Then Solange has she got the ginger bit. Anyway, but what was I gonna say? But I do want to, like, back to, like, that whole thing, like, and I don't care what anybody says. Anybody that, like, knows me, like, and talks to me one on one. I mean, that I'm not joking when I say that absolutely traumatized me that day. I mean, freaking traumatized me. Like, to the point where if I really get in depth and talk about it with somebody, I mean, I start shaking. Like, and you know, some people want to argue like, well, it was just words. She was just this. She's just that. Words are not just words, you know, especially when they're threats and horrible insults about your kid, saying like sexual things about your kid. And then she wants to go on and say they sexualized a picture. What does that even mean? Where? Like, so yeah, it's just hard. Like I said, I don't want to, you know, continuously talk about this on YouTube, but
no, like I feel like this was wrapping it up, it's wrapping it up. I mean, you know, well, I feel like at least somebody got justice out of it, and I certainly didn't do it to be to rub it in anybody's face. And I don't care what anyone thinks. That is not why we did the interview. But again, you know, some people were asking so many questions about hypersense, and you know, you were also part of it, the highlighted story on Dorothy's channel, and I just wanted to bring you on. And unfortunately, Lesley couldn't be here tonight, but I just wanted to kind of do a follow-up. There, you know, people are going to talk about it
always.
I mean, you know, this was a pretty big deal, and we expect people to talk about it or have opinions, but the ones who are just in denial, it just proved to me, you know, there was a clip that was sent to me. So I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched a clip, and I couldn't believe, I was like, really? So that is just straight up pure denial. It was straight up pure denial. And you know,
didn't happen. Give me a break.
I know it didn't happen. You're right. I mean, I just don't get it.
Donkey, do you mean she said do my favorite impression? Do you mean Bubbles?
I haven't heard that one yet, Amber.
You haven't?
No.
Well, even Bubbles has heard it. Whenever she was on Bam's panel, and they were like, you know, like I think Val was like, you know, but Bubbles, you know, how does it make you feel? And Bubbles goes, well, I think I feel like it's time for me to get off this panel. Oh God, it was. I mean, they were like in her face, like, "How does it make you feel?" She's like, "Well, I think I feel it's time for me to hop off this panel."
You have had us cracking up with a lot of them.
It's how I get through things, you know. You really do have to. I mean, if you think about it, like, yes, there has been a ton of things that are not in the least bit funny, but then there's been some things that you can laugh at, you know. And I mean, y'all, we gotta not take this stuff so serious.
Uploaded the picture of the stripper leg.
It's a stripper ghost. Hey.
Yeah, like that. I died today. I seriously forgot.
I laughed forever when I saw it. I said, "Oh my God, they made a strip." It's a
Look,
stripper
that's what
ghost.
we were talking about in the mod chat. Is that I said, you know, Amber and I really ought to do a compilation of some of the dumbest things that have happened that you really could laugh at. And I said we ought to meet up for, you know, New Year's and do a whole compilation and everything. Maybe we will, I don't know, but there's just some things that happen that I look back and think, I can't believe I got upset about this, that, or the other, or, you know, that I do now find ridiculously funny.
Yeah.
I just think some certain things at the time when you're stressed out dealing with real life, and then you're dealing with, you know, you might have a bad day, and then somebody sends you a message that a bomb dropped on YouTube, and it's like, really, I just can't deal with this right now, you know, and then something petty comes along and it just adds to it.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to learn to laugh at some of it. If not, you will absolutely just you know.
But when you pulled that up thing, because I said, Amber, what was the video again that the hypersense comment? I knew it didn't have anything to do with band, but I couldn't remember exactly which one it was. But
Yeah.
it was on that Facebook page. What was it?
I see Dead Amber's page where, yeah, and it had a stripper ghost.
I was trying to upload that, but I guess
I used it as my avatar. I thought it was so funny. Oh, hey, Mary.
Is Mary here? Hey, Mary.
I did. I thought it was like, if somebody's going to go to this length to make a stripper ghost,
I know.
Oh man, I mean that's stuff I've just learned to laugh at. Like they've always tried to imply that I'm a stripper. And then,
and you're not only not that, but you and for those that are, more power to you. But you're not, and you're a trained dancer.
I'm trained, and I can't, like, yes, I have pole skills, but like, open your minds. Pole is not just in the clubs anymore. It's
not.
It's huge now. And I mean, I will say flat out, women, if you've never taken the class, it is so empowering. And honestly, it's like, truly, I mean, I've done everything from CrossFit to freaking like train dancer.
I'm too accident prone. I seriously think that
you'll get bruises, all right. You will get bruises.
I'm turning 49 in February, but the pole thing, I just can see me literally going upside down and meeting gravity. I mean, honestly.
Well, I did eat the ground a few times, and I did get some bruise because, like, you literally, you use your body to hold you sometimes. So, like, your skin, and I mean, I would get bruises on my stomach, but that was all in the beginning. Somehow, your body just kind of gets used to it, and it literally is. Once you get it, it's so much fun. And it is, my God, I was like, when I really was into it, I was cut. I mean, it defines you in a way that it's crazy, because it does.
I know Bunny said if I had a figure like Amber, I would be a stripper. I know that's right.
Girl, you're nice. Thank you. But but I will say, yeah, the rumors, and I'm gonna crush this. I'm sick. I was sick and freaking tired of being called a prostitute. Like, you know what I mean? That's
well, not only that, but the whole thing about that, you were pulled over and your kid was in the car, and none of that was true.
Freaking horrible. None of it.
It is horrible.
None of it. I mean, it got to the point. It's like, how Lesley feels. She's got to actually show the document. I mean, I have felt on several occasions, I'm just going to post my record, so it'll be here permanently, so you idiots can refer back to it and see.
I remember you doing that, but
yeah, I mean, and then, like, in that one day in her chat, when she was, and she goes into like graphic detail of how I, sucked, what, for money. And it's gross. It's freaking gross. And like, her chat, like, I'm sorry, but it's no better. I mean, those comments like, oh, just give her some knee pads and use her and put a handlebar on her head. Like, somebody said that one day. I think it was like Bibly or whatever. I don't remember, but it was horrible. I mean, I'm sorry, but that chat just gets vicious. Like, you see, like, here, we're saying things, but are we going to that level? No. So, can you still hear me?
Sorry, I was sitting here talking to have my mic on mute because I noticed that, again, mine was, how it does, it highlights around your photo. It must have been picking up background noise when you were talking instead of me. So I'm not sure why. Well, my cat's moving around the background, but no, we don't take it to that level at all. I mean, we're discussing things that really did happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think, like, there was at one point I was so freaking fed up that I did go live, and I did say some things like, what in the hell is there to be jealous of? Because it's always you're jealous and stuff like that. But it's just, I've never gone to that level. Like, and just saying, like, I think people, at first they just think that, oh, this is just a strong woman, she's just strong and outspoken, because I thought that, but then once I saw, it's like, wait, no,
I
this is
thought,
not
you know what?
strong.
I thought that she was different, a little different privately, but the thing is I thought, well, she owns her faults. She is what she is. We all have faults, but I mean, it was just, I don't know if, I mean, it was a facade. It
Yeah.
was being involved with people I had no business being involved with. And, we've talked about it 1,001 times. I'm not going to keep repeating myself, but
right.
I don't know what that noise was.
Well, I just unplugged my headphones to plug my charger in.
Now, I worry because, like I said, I know that mine is always so much louder, and I feel bad for people with earbuds because it'll burst their eardrums because they can't hear my guest, but then I'm really loud.
I know.
I
can't ever get it dialed in either. I hope y'all can hear me okay. My phone is about to die.
I'm hoping, well, they don't let you buy just one implant. You have to buy both, and insurance doesn't cover it. It's over $5,000, and no, I'm not asking for money. I'm just stating. And anyway, so yeah, you would think that you could just get one hearing aid, but it doesn't work that way. So,
right.
But they're cool. I mean, they're Bluetooth and they work with everything. But anyway, I'm hoping to get that worked out so that I won't even have to deal with any of that. And also, it would be nice to be able to watch like the original official music videos, instead of me having to always find the ones with the lyrics, because I can hear the music, I just can't understand the lyrics. So
sounds like you got some sound issues, some personal sound issues.
Yeah, it's definitely, well, I'm hearing impaired in one ear completely, so, and then it affects your other side. But anyway, off topic. So, but I guess
I was gonna go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna bring up, Norman's not here. He's actually not doing too well. He's not he's not feeling too well. But he was one of the many men that have been in the category of calling them the P word. And I just hope people recognize that too, that's just not okay to call somebody that just out of hatred.
No, and
that's something that sticks, that's horrible. I mean,
he, was a coach for a very long time for a kids team. I mean, that's just not, you're right. That's something that shouldn't even be put out there. Again, that goes beyond being controversial and just being nasty.
Like, if you don't like him, you don't like him. Just like if you don't like me, you don't like me. But it's that whole level of abuse that it gets to. And
I think people have become so desensitized to all of this, like you said, to the word junkie, and it's like, I think he used an example a long time ago. Would you stand by and watch somebody be physically assaulted in front of you? Why do we allow it on here? Why do we allow? I understand some people don't want to get involved. They don't, or they were scared of her, or their fear for people know things about you and you're in fear. It's being their emotional hostage is what that is. But as in general, I guess I'm just maybe a little more outspoken than others at times, and it's a redhead thing. I hate to stand by and see an injustice. I have a hard time standing up for myself, but I have no problem standing up for somebody else.
Yeah. And it's hard whenever, it really is mob freaking mentality, and it's hard when you're in the little group, and I will say, like, it was amazing to see, when she did drag Lily, it was pretty damn amazing to see some people, step up and say that's not okay. And I actually, gained some friendships out of that. And some didn't, and they are now. And and that's good too. But I don't know,
I
man.
was going to add on too about Norman. For those out there that pray, if you could send up some prayers. He's really not well at all,
No, he's
and
not at
it's
all.
it's really serious. People have done some crappy videos when he was sick before and accused him of being on CPAP and not, airway assistance. He's very sick this time, and not that he wasn't that time. Sorry, Kybell, you're not the only one going on little sleep. I'm going on very little too. He was very sick before, but this is a different kind of illness.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, notice
and
he's not doing videos, so that's a sure sign that he's not, because Norman, he
he's
likes
not
his
only
videos.
encrypted. Yeah, so if you pray, if you could send up some prayers or positive vibes his way, I know that he would really appreciate it.
Yeah. But, he got, she started that P word on him. Well, I mean, let's face it, she's called us all that, and I don't understand it. I don't understand the obsession with that kind of word. But yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that, because I can't stand it when I see somebody called that, because that is like, I don't know if there's anything worse that you can be called. And
Yeah, and that's a big deal here, like in reality, not online. I mean, it is the worst thing you can be associated with.
Yes.
And I mean, of course, she's going to go for that, but it's not fair to title that on anybody, including Norman, including Lesley, and the rest of us.
Right. I see Baranos showed up tonight. I haven't seen you hardly at all. It's good to see you. Well, and that's just it. Most people don't believe it. They know that it's just being spouted, but it just goes on and on
Well,
and
and back
on.
then, though, when we didn't have, people were terrified of speaking up. They didn't speak out against them. They would email me and say, we support you, this, that, and the other, but they were really scared and didn't want to be dragged.
Right.
But it was really hard in the beginning, because no, I'd never been exposed to somebody like that ever. um Gosh, I look back and think, and it's like you, when I was trying to get you to give me a couple photos, and then you came across some of, your old community post. It triggered you. You were
Yeah.
upset today. When we look back at our actual content, I usually watch mine once when the chat's attached to it. And then that's it. I don't go back, because if I do, like you, I'll get triggered. And I don't hold grudges in my ordinary daily life.
Right.
Again, this isn't a grudge. This is something that I just can't move past, and I don't want anything else to do with.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, we've talked about it quite a bit tonight, but we were just sort of wrapping it up and bringing a means to an end. And hopefully nothing major will, stem from it, that we have to address anything else. And of course, if it does, then I guess we'll address it at that time. I mean, but seriously, like, I'm burned out. I'm
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah. I mean, that's just it. Like, and I'm gonna say it again. I acknowledge that she said she's done with dragging certain people and this and that, but it's like I gotta get what I gotta say out too. And I do hope that it's just about being aware from here on out. Again, like, don't try not to be blinded, like, just because somebody, because I noticed, like, I think a lot of people, their blinders kind of came off when she stopped dragging AD. And just pay, like I said, I mean, even if it's somebody that you just don't like, when it's just that kind of level, and their child's being ripped apart for 8 hours, that's just not okay.
I don't even hate watch. Like, I'm not even subbed. I know that they say, well, you say you're not subbed and you don't watch. No, but people notify me, or they'll send me a clip, or they'll send me something. And of course, if it's my close friends or even subs will send me something, I'll take a look at it. But no, I do not go out of my way, and I sub to anybody like that, why in the hell would I give support to that and keep it going?
Right.
No way.
Well, and it sucks whenever, like I said, I remember when this first happened, people wanted to make up all these things like, oh, their history. No, there's really not. It's really quite simple. I started getting dragged for 9 months and I stayed completely quiet until I spoke out that one day when we went live. And then from then on out, it just got, you know, it just got ugly. And it all, in that situation, it was all due to a heart like. And when I say I mindlessly liked it, that's just the truth. I remember seeing it and being confused, really, to be honest. I didn't know if they were cracking
What
a
video was
joke.
that?
What?
What video?
The comment, the heart liked comment that
Oh,
started
I'm
this.
sorry. Okay.
Yeah, like when I saw it, I swear to God, like I didn't think of her at all. Why would I? Like it wasn't on my mind. And people did make like these accusations, like, well, if she just would have taken it down. Well, no, because the abuse started right out of the gate. It wasn't like this, hey, can you take no. And I wasn't even notified until it was a good maybe hour into it. And I just remember feeling just this stress that I've never felt, just this stress and this pressure of like, this woman has the nerve to be saying these things about my child and ordering me to do something. Like, what, you know what I'm
Like
saying?
Barbara Edie was saying, I get I get palpitations every time I'm on YouTube. You're not the
Yeah,
only one. I mean,
man. Yeah, you're not. The amount of people I talk to that they're like, oh, my blood pressure's sky high today because of YouTube. That's just crazy, you know? So, but yeah, I mean, it really was a mindless, like, it's just
Cabell,
what it is.
I don't understand what your comment was. I'm sorry, you guys. I am going on lack of sleep. She said, Norman, it was a few months ago now. I must have missed that. Emerald, is your mom sick? Because I missed that too. I'm sorry.
Yeah, her mom's
I'm
not
trying to
doing
keep up.
well.
I'm zoning out a little bit, and you know, my son's been homesick all week too, so it's kind of I've not had much sleep. Oh gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. Emerald, I am. I'll keep
Yeah.
her in my prayers. And I'm not just one to say that. Like I really will.
Thank you, Smiley. I love Smiley.
I know, I do
I
too.
freaking love her comments always crack me up too.
I like Abanion's comments also.
A Banyan is
That's some of the best
that's
ever.
my man right there. I love a Banyan. I know he's listening. Come on, a Banyan, drop me a tube sock.
Well, that's what I was telling Cabell was, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. What, like when I think of you, Cabell, I always just think KK for some reason. But that's like her comments are usually like Abigail's were knowledgeable, informative. They always have a purpose, like
Whose?
um I can't hear you. What did you say?
I said, whose comments are you talking about?
That was Cabell. Is it
Oh, okay.
Cabell?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've
Um,
seen some good ones.
but like you just know, like Maria R, always consistent, always pleasant. There's certain subs that think that you ordinarily wouldn't remember them that you come across, or even viewers that I do remember.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Banyan used to have some of the comments. But somebody was asking about Butterfly Sword. I haven't seen them around in forever, and I wanted to say, I think that is the one that had eye surgery or had something going on with her eye. And I haven't seen her in forever. I hope she's doing okay.
Yeah, I know. I used to love her comments. And it's really funny because she was one that like bought into thinking that I was just this evil demon. And then when she she was sticking up for me, we got to talking, and I really enjoyed conversing with her.
um, I don't know if I know sometimes people come in with a completely different language, so I try not to be quick to hide others, but okay, somebody's already handled it. JD JD was asking why are you supportive of AD?
I mean,
And JD, I think you have a right to ask that question if you want to know.
I mean, like, do we really want to get into all of this? I mean, I've put my thoughts out there on that. And
I don't think we need to get into all of it. I was just saying that.
But I do want to clarify, like, am I still like? I mean, I'm not.
You keep getting accused of a lot of things, Amber. That's why I kind of brought it up and thought you may want to. Well, you've been accused of so many different things with AD. I just figured,
okay, here's the thing, and people say, like, that when I went on his panel, do you want to know, like, the conditions of that night? Let me tell you, it was like, and I'm just saying what it was. I think you got, like, they were like on hour 20 of dragging us, right? And now Dorothy has corrected, her wrong with this particular situation, but at the time, like, Bam was on panel. I think it was like two other people, and they were going on and on, just lying, saying that I, did this and I did that. And, this was after like a month of nothing but being thrown all these accusations that, I mean, Martin was consistent that I was best buddies with the guy. Right. And I mean, my good friends here can vouch. That time I went on his panel was probably like the third time I've ever even been on his channel. But I remember getting the link and I was at my wit's end.
You've been accused so many times
and so many things. And I have to be really honest. Like, my abuse was coming from people that weren't supporting him. Not all of you. Okay. Not all, but I'm talking like some of the loudest voices. That's who I was getting the majority of the abuse from. And, like, I was at my wit's end. Like, you mentioned something about a guest he had on last night. I don't even know who he had on last night. Like,
I know people will talk about stuff over there. I don't either.
Like, I don't keep up like that. I really don't. Like,
but wait, Kai Bell keeps talking about him, a creator, and something on Helen. I asked too, but I guess I missed your answer. Are you talking about? You keep saying he using pronouns. Are you talking about AD or who made a video or something on Helen? I was just curious.
I don't agree with everything that the man does. And like I said, I don't even know who he had on last night. So, like, it's really not that deep, but but I'll always have, like, do I agree with, like, the mob mentality that against him? No. And do I have questions? Yes. And I've made that vocal, and it's just questions. That's it. It's questions. And, that's not what this particular chat is about, but, like I said.
Hi, Bill. I'm sorry, Amber. I didn't see the video. I know that Helen and Norman have a personal past, and again, another one that I don't have his enemies. He doesn't share my enemies, and I know that he was supportive of her, and I know she thanked him. So I don't think that like mends any bridges or anything. I just thought I'd say so. But I didn't see that. That's another one. Everybody thinks just because I'm friendly with Norman that I see all of his content or I know all. I don't.
No, yeah.
I don't. I honestly, unless somebody is telling me about it, I'm not caught, up to speed on every single thing. But okay. But thanks for answering my question. Sorry,
like,
Amber.
JD, what if I flipped that on you and said, and I don't mean this to be ugly, okay? But why do you still support Martin? Someone that has thrown really abusive comments to me and many other people, doxed people. So, like, why does everything have to even be about that?
You're not blocked, Allie. I can see you.
I just get so sick of AD being the main focus in anything that comes up. Like, you know.
So I'm sorry, Amber. I didn't realize that. I just thought, you were accused of it for so long, and I just figured
No,
you
no,
weren't.
no. I'm not. No, you're fine, Ginger. You're fine. But I just she's like brought it up a few times tonight, and like,
Oh, see, I didn't see that.
yeah. I mean, and I don't even know who he had on last night. Like, I don't, But
Although we really don't have a topic, we're
I
just
know,
sort of.
and I mean, and really, that I can honestly say that when I got sent that link that night to go on his panel, I really truly was at my wit's end with Martin, with Bam, with being called evil. I mean, I was called evil for what? For nothing. Like, at that point in time, I had been on 80s channel like twice in my entire life, and whenever everybody's over there praising the woman that dragged my child for 8 hours, you don't think that would push a person, you know? So yeah, when I got sent that link, you're damn straight. I said, you know what? Forget this. And I clicked it. It gets
Some
hard.
people get
It gets
pushed
really.
past their breaking point. I've seen some of the strongest creators I would have never seen recently crack. It
Oh, I cracked that
eventually.
night for sure. I was tired of it. I was tired. I really truly was. I was tired. And nobody ever should have been called a traitor for, defending me in that situation, I feel.
Juror was the bridge that filled in the gap with that, and we were appreciative.
Yeah, I
Juror
really
was very
was. I sent
kind to
Jura a
us
nice
reaching out.
email. So I don't know. I hope I answered questions.
I
That's
guess
another
so.
thing.
She went silent.
I mean,
She's
it's
not blocked.
definitely not to me, it's not really a black or white thing. I've got questions everywhere that, you know, so, but I mean, that really is a whole nother thing. And I mean, again, I don't even know who he had on last night. I've not even looked at it. So I don't even know what to tell you on that, you know?
Well, you guys, we're probably going to get ready to wrap it up here. Does anyone else have any last questions? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
Because this is the last time I really want to talk about it, honestly, unless somebody just comes out with something that has to be addressed.
And, and again, like I do, like I really, really, I do appreciate you guys, clearing this up and, saying the truth about what happened. That does mean a lot. Like, that's all I've ever wanted in this particular situation, for just the truth to be told, like, again, when it's something that is so deeply personal and, you're being lied on. And, another thing that was happening that night when I went on his panel, I think my breaking point was Bam was on panel and she was just ripping Sagacious apart, telling her she had 3 hours to remove the video that was supportive of me. And she did it, she didn't even flinch. Okay, I'll do it, And like, it just,
I can't even
I
get
don't know.
on that. That one right there just baffled me to see her supporting that. After we supported her, I mean,
It
she was
did.
leaving YouTube. And I
Right.
told Brandon not leaving YouTube. I just thought a lot of people do that, they'll take the support from you and then they just follow. They just are a follower is the way I feel about it. But I don't want to,
And like,
you
as
know,
far as and I really want to, I do want to say that kind of loud here. I am not to be called evil. I can tell you, and these women that know me personally can tell you, I've never had like a mean bone in my body when it came to the family. I had some questions, and that was it. I never did there's not a single video on my channel being, ugly or anything. So, you know.
I don't know. JD, who are you calling a psychopath?
Yeah, who are you calling a psychopath? Because I feel like I'm making sense.
Juror, your voice is like
It
Lesley. It
is.
is very calming, and I could understand you perfectly. And I struggle to understand accents a lot. I know she could be doing podcasts.
It is. You do. You have a very, very calming voice. But I hope you're not calling me a psychopath. I mean, I feel like I was pretty clear with.
I would think that she wouldn't do that, especially, I mean, when we're sitting here covering things about.
Yeah. Okay. Not any of G. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what that was about. I didn't see any other comments when I was trying to go back.
Hi, Casper.
She's saying not any of G. I think she meant not any of you.
Yeah.
Maybe she's tired.
Yeah.
I think everybody though, hey Casper, that that wouldn't ordinarily show up over here, or it's been a very, very long time since I've seen your faces. I appreciate it, and I just look forward to moving on, honestly, and just trying to get things back on track. And
Yeah.
people are going to say what they want to say, as long as they're leaving our real lives out of this. It is what it is. And like I said, there are always going to be somebody that's going to push your buttons. You feel the need to speak up, but as far as this goes, I really am just completely done and over with it all.
Yeah. Exhausting. That's an understatement. So.
JD might have fallen asleep, I guess, maybe.
No, she said not any of you.
Oh, okay. Um,
So, but I mean, when did the injunction happen? Can we say the date?
yeah, I said it. I said it
Okay.
in an interview too. November 23rd.
Yeah, I mean, not
And
everybody
Smoky,
is.
I was just gonna say, if you look, my previous live was an interview with Lesley, and she explains some things a lot better than I did, but this was really sort of giving it a few days to let the community sink in what they, let it sink in and see if anybody had any further questions, and I addressed some things in the beginning as well.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, I think we've covered it all. At least I feel that I'm, really trying to think here. I think we've covered it all, and like I said, when she put that out there, it really, it did put me in a very like weird position because, of course I don't want to carry on and keep slinging mud, but
Who's that? What
I'm
you're talking
talking
about?
about when Bam said she was done dragging me, but there will be no,
Okay.
but
Y'all
there will
use
be
all
no
these
apologies.
pronouns. Everybody uses pronouns with me, and I get lost in that. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Just,
Yeah.
when she said she was done dragging me, but however, there would be no apologies because the truth needs to be out. And that, you know,
Well,
that just,
the truth is out,
it's
and
been out.
it's been out.
It's been out. So I don't know what else to say to that, but you know, that I don't want to continue and sling mud either, but the truth has been out. So I don't know, again, I have to question who, it's like somebody just encourage her and she doesn't look into it. I don't know, but I have a feeling that, people around her, they if they want her to drag somebody, then I'm sure they feed it, like. But anyway.
I'm sorry, I was just reading back in chat. I'm listening.
No, that's okay. I'm reading too.
I was just looking to see if we missed
Did Van drag Amber before she fell out with Martin?
Did that happened at the same time? Oh, okay.
I think it was around the time they made up. I think.
Gosh, it's been going on so long. I mean, honestly, there's so many useless bits and pieces of information that have just been pushed completely out of my brain. It's been that long.
Yeah. I noticed he's back and has his comments off. I'd imagine because he probably figures there's going to be a lot of arguments in chat at the moment. That's Smurfy.
No, there's no injunction against her. She had a personal visit to her home that she denies from law enforcement, and was told to stop with what she was doing.
What was I gonna say? It's so good to see you, Smurfy. I haven't seen you in a while.
I know it's been a while for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there was something I was gonna say, and I can't remember. Bunny, I have to believe that. I mean, I feel like if she would have said it. I mean,
Yeah, see, Kybell didn't know about Bam abusing you. And see what she said right there? That's what I'm saying. You can't assume that that people in the community, hell, if creators don't know everything that's going on or who others are talking about, how could viewers?
Right. And I have to remember that, everybody on here has their own personal experience with people, and yeah, it's hard to keep up with it all, and not everybody's going to like each other. And, like you like some people that I don't care for and vice versa, but that's life, that is life. Spacey, didn't you say you were going to visit him? I don't know.
With law enforcement.
And, a lot of people ask, like, if I had done something like, would I do something, if I could do something legally as far as what she did. And the thing is, like, I'll tell you firsthand that if I was in the same country, they would have absolutely gone and knocked on her door. However, it's amazing the process that you have to go through if you're overseas. And it was kind of like jumping through hoops. And, if I'm honest, I knew too, like, I could not speak up about it. I had to fight back, and I don't know if that would be, I don't know what they would expect for me, but there was no way that I could be quiet and just sit there and not say a word. But regardless.
But it was legally documented, and that's what you needed to do to be safe and be safe with your child.
Yeah, and that is what I did. Like it's on the can't talk. It's on the books, because I said if any of these threats were carried out, this needs to be documented, or if anything else happens, So it is documented. I think if I were to try to push further, I would probably have to get a lawyer and all that jazz, and it's money. I started GoFundMe. No, I'm just kidding. Allie, I always like your comments. I feel like I'm like, I feel like I know you, but I don't know who you are.
I feel like I know her too because she's been around as long as we
Yeah.
have. That's why.
Yeah. So, all right.
Well, you guys, thank you for stopping in, and we'll get together again soon and before the holidays for sure. We appreciate the support. And anything else you want to add, Amber?
No, I think I've said it all. At this point, I feel like I'll be a broken record, but I think I've said it all.
Yep, I think I've said everything I wanted to say as well. Well, we wish you a good night, afternoon, morning, whichever it is over there, and we will see you guys soon.
Good night. Thank you.
Thanks, Amber. Amber, I appreciate you
blab.
coming in.
Thank you, Ginger.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.